Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Purpose Vision Future Show. My name is Amanda Heal, and I'm coming to you from Canberra, Australia. I'm very honoured today to have a very special guest with me. Excuse me. I'm very honoured today to have a very special guest with me. Her name is Jennifer Parry, and she is one of the people who features in my book, this book. And I will tell you how you can get hold of this book a little bit later in the show. But welcome, Jennifer. Thank you so very much for joining me today.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here.
So tell me, we met quite a while ago, didn't we? I believe we met on, you were a member of one of my first Mastermind groups.
Yes, I was. And it was something I stumbled upon. I wonder through an email list or something similar. I just thought this sounds really intriguing. And really, I liked the name. I thought, wow, what an interesting name for Mastermind. And I thought, what is this all about? And
Sorry, you go.
Really liked it.
Oh, thank you. It was called Put Your Dream to the Test.
Yes, and I thought, wow, this sounds exciting.
Yeah. And what did you discover that your dream was?
The first thing I really discovered is that I really hadn't been thinking about it too much, and I was too busily focusing on what I thought I wanted. And I thought, what is it? It was a bit of a wake-up call, or a bit of something a little bit healthily confronting.
And what did you think you wanted before you did the Mastermind?
Just to keep working and save lots of money, and I'm not sure. I think just about some sort of wealth or being successful, but I hadn't really thought about what that really meant as much.
Okay. And you were working full-time for a telecommunications company, weren't you?
Yes, that's correct. I was there for 22 years, actually. So.
Mm-hmm. And what did you discover that your dream was in that Mastermind?
Well, after thinking more about it, I remembered that because I'm a person who's passionate about music,
mm-hmm.
and I'd really realised that I'd put it all to one side, mm-hmm. thinking, that one will never really be fruitful enough, whatever that means, whether it be money or other. And I'd not really thought about it for a while. I thought, I wish I could do this a lot more, or actually do something about it. That was really being able to perform or sing, or really provide the gift of joy to the world through music.
Mm. Oh, that's lovely. And to the viewers, we talked in a couple of episodes ago about how our dreams and our passions can be hidden under a life of doing other things. And also, I think I mentioned it again in last week's episode. So if you want to go back and check those out, and about the importance of discovering what your dreams and passions are, then feel free to do that on Feel free to do that on WYTV7.org/purpose-vision-future. So after your Mastermind, sometime after the Mastermind, your job security then came into question, didn't it?
Yes, it did. There was some restructures happening, and actually at the time the job I was in was found very challenging, and I was actually pretty unhappy in it. It was different to the previous positions I've been in, so I've been in several roles. And, there was some restructures happening, and there were people that were going to be made redundant. Actually, pretty much the whole section was up for redundancy, so people would either have to go somewhere else into the company or move on to other things.
And for our US viewers, that is the same as being laid off. We call it being made redundant in Australia, yeah. So, and what was making you unhappy in that job?
Well, it was a completely reactive role. So a problem would occur and you'd have to fix it. It was really more about crisis management, and that's not my ethos. I'm a person that's proactive and wants to provide service and be ahead of the game, or at least be engaged proactively, and that role wasn't that at all. And the other part of it was colleagues around me were great. My supervisors didn't appreciate any of the work or value it, and they didn't really necessarily trust people to do what they were supposed to do on a regular basis. So it was really very difficult. You can't work with someone if you don't trust. Yeah, it's impossible. Yeah, it becomes untenable after a while, which is what happened. And I felt it was extremely stressful in a high-pressure environment too, and I stuck at it for a few years. And when at the point the prospect of being laid off came around or presented itself, I was really very much at the end of how much longer can I do this? I'm just surviving, and what am I doing? And I thought, what in the world am I putting myself through this for? And I was quite unhappy, and it was starting to affect health as well. It wasn't very good at that time.
Yes, it's surprising just how much it can start to affect our health when we're unhappy for a long period of time.
And under enormous stress too, it can really take things out of you.
It can. And so then when you were laid off, it gave you a bit of space to think about what you had done in the mastermind and what you had discovered, didn't it?
It did. There was actually a tremendous sense of relief, because by the time I reached that crossroad and weighed up whether to leave or not, that was a huge process in itself. By the time I actually left, I thought this is the right decision. I just need it to happen now. And even weeks leading up to before I left, I thought there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and I already felt the weight starting to lift, because there's an end to this current situation that seemed hopeless, or seemed very difficult at least. And so when I left, I had a short break, and then it gave me time to think. I didn't realise how crowded my mind was and how suppressed things were until I was no longer in that situation. It was quite a revelation.
Yes, I remember I had the same experience when I was about to be made redundant. It made me realise that there were other options out there.
And I felt empty initially. It was a bit scary because there was so much space. I wasn't used to it.
Yes.
And I thought, what do I do now? That was really the first question. And I thought, do I just give myself time to collect myself? Because I really didn't know what, who or when at that point.
It's a bit like being in Freefall, isn't it?
Well, it's a definite crossroad, I'll call it. It's a bit of a pause moment. You're pausing. You're in between one chapter and about to start another.
Awesome. And what made you decide to come back and work with me again?
I think I saw something about a careers tool, and I thought, I'm just at the end of one career. This is amazing. The timing's wonderful, because it was around that time, and I thought, I've got nothing to lose. And I've worked with Amanda before, and I really enjoyed it and felt, really thought-provoked by what had happened previously. And I thought, I've got nothing to lose, and I'm sure there's something there that could really help me. And that's where I went from. Then I reached out to you. A bit half scared, half thinking I've got nothing to lose, and will it help me decide what I want to do? I had no real direction at that point in time.
Yeah. And I think you may have been the first client that I took through that tool. We've had a lot of firsts.
It's amazing.
my first mastermind, my first paying mastermind, my first career tool person, and indirectly discovering purpose person, and now my first guest on the show. So you've been a bit of a trailblazer for me.
Well, and it's interesting to say that, because there are other things, and the same as at the telecommunications companies too. I was actually really one of the first people they ever had was disability. So there was a lot of advocating, trendsetting, being the first to do. And I guess it was just a continuation of that behaviour and a bit of trendsetting, that path.
And are you comfortable sharing with the viewers what your disability is?
I'm totally blind, I don't have any vision at all. So, but I just see that as my eyes don't function. I just see differently.
Beautiful. And so using the career tool, we looked at various things. We looked at your interests and your interests, your hobbies, your all different types of areas in your life. And indirectly, we went through for the viewers, we went through the 3 steps which I outline in my book of looking at your past, your present, and your passions and dreams. Well, we looked at the passions and dreams in the previous mastermind, but we examined past and present and also future sort of hopes and goals and stuff with that career tool that we did. And so what did you discover that your purpose was? I think we may have had a discussion at the end about what your purpose might be. And I think you may have mentioned it earlier.
Yes, well, I should just say that I found the tool a really effective way of being reflecting. It was a really deep reflective tool for me. It took me on a journey and it made me rediscover things I hadn't thought about for a long time because I didn't think they were valid or had no time to think about them. I was in survival mode. When you're surviving, you don't think, you just do what you have to do. So it was really quite, I know I keep using the word revolutionary, but it really was. It was a process of rediscovery and a bit of transformation and thinking. It was opened up a whole lot of parts of the mind I hadn't tapped into for a long time. And I really thought about, it made me think about what do I really want to do as opposed to what do I think I should be doing to please or meet expectations for other people. And that was a huge shift because many times across the years prior to this point, people said, oh, you need a stable job and you need to do this. And, for instance, music might be stable and you couldn't do that as a full income. And you really need something that just pays your bills. And for a lot, and part of that time they were right, because when you're paying off a mortgage or doing something like that, you need really steady income for quite a long time. And there's no guarantee of that. I went through several restructures and changes before I left the telecommunications company. But it really, this tool really made me think about what I want to do as opposed to what I thought I should be doing just to please other people, as I said a moment ago. And it was about wanting to communicate, really connect with people. And how do I do that? And I thought, well, one really effective way for me doing that would be through music, whether it be writing songs, performing, recording, helping someone else with music. But it's something music's often seen as a bit universal because a lot of barriers are broken down through it. Generally speaking, but it's really a bit of a passion for me because I've been doing it for a long time, and it's just when I feel most alive is when I'm doing music in some form. So I thought I want to do much more of that. And the other part of it was to really connect more deeply and do something meaningful and impactful to assist people, whatever that is.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. And that's actually one of the joys of living out your purpose, is that you are doing something that you're passionate about. And I think it's probably a good time now to go to a break. So viewers, don't go away, and we will see you on the other side.
Mr. Happy Living here. I love good things made for good people. That's why I love Happy Living's online e-course. It's an 8-week-long deep dive into you and the inspired life you want to live. The life you were put here on this earth to live. The one that you and only you can live. 8 weeks of lectures and ideas and topics and supporting materials and powerful self-improvement tools. All designed for you. All designed to help you create the tools and the power and the confidence you need to discover your purpose and to discover the life you were meant to live and to feel incredibly inspired and motivated to decide you will live your life to its fullest. It's all designed to help you create the unique and distinct philosophy of you and your inspired life. Go to happyliving.com, select our e-course, and save $100 with promo code WYTV7. And for every enrollment, I'll donate another $100 to WYTV7. For $300 and about 30 hours, I promise you'll never, ever be the same again.
Welcome back, everybody. And thank you to our lovely sponsors who make this program and other programs possible. And while I'm on that subject, if you are enjoying this program and the other programs on WYTV7, please do donate. You can do that at WYTV7.org because your donation makes this program and the other lovely programs on this channel possible. So if you've just joined us, I have an honoured guest on this show, lovely Jennifer Parry, who is one of the people that I write about in my book. So before the break, we were talking about what life was like for you before we discovered your purpose. And now we're going to talk about what it's like now. So what happened when you discovered that your life's purpose was to connect with people through music and writing? What did you do next?
I did a lot of thinking. I did some brainstorming about what that really meant. So what sort of form would it take? Would it be writing music again because I'd written stuff previously that had just sat on a shelf? Or did it mean joining a choir because I'd been in one previously? Or what did it really mean? So it took quite a bit of soul searching around that. I spoke to other people who are musicians just to understand what they do, and I still do that. I think an important thing is to try and find, whether it be some sort of mentor or someone that you can actually just talk to about stuff or understand what they're doing in the same field as you that you might be interested in. But a lot of it was brainstorming, trying to set goals, deciding how to really go forward. And the thing that really stuck out for me was, if I feel so alive doing this, I just need to do more of it. And if I don't have the tools to do what I need to do to the best of my ability or to be the best version of myself, find those tools and get the training or whatever I needed. And so there was quite a process around deciding how to do that. And it took quite some time. So now I connected with a trainer to learn some music software, and I'd read about it before and I'd purchased it ages ago, not long after I left previous employment. I didn't really know who to connect with, and it was through a word of mouth and a friend that I said, why don't you speak to this person? They're really good at knowing how to use this software, see if they'll train you. And now I'm doing that, and I feel like I've made so much progress, lots of progress, because one of my biggest frustrations was, okay, I've got all these musical ideas. I don't know how to document them or record them or express them properly in a form that I can share with other people. because that was a big frustration of mine. It's one thing to record it on a phone. It's another thing to actually produce it properly. And now I'm learning how to do that. So that's really, really fulfilling.
And you started getting qualifications in music, didn't you?
Yes,
I did studying.
I did too, because one of the things I thought of after work, I thought, well, I've had all this experience in a field. What about getting some accreditation for it? So first I did a certificate 3 in business admin. And while I was doing that, there was a teacher consultant I've built a good rapport with, and she got to know me a lot better, and we talked about the music and other things we do in life. And she said, there's a course that you might be interested in, Jen. And I said, what is it? And she said, oh, it's a certificate 3 in music performance. And I went, oh, that sounds really interesting. Where'd I find out more about it? So she connected me with the teachers, and you're supposed to audition for the course, apparently. And the teacher had heard me sing. I'd recorded something, or she'd heard it before. And really, she advocated and said, Jen doesn't need to audition. She's really skilled. She's confident. You're going to love her being in the course. So I didn't need to audition. So that was wonderful. So I went and did that and connected with music unit through TAFE. So that's really like a technical and further education in New South Wales college. Did that certificate, enjoyed it so much, and went back and did diploma or undergraduate, as it's known. Enjoyed that so much that I'm now doing the advanced diploma, which I'll probably finish by the end of this year. And that's learning so much about how to read, write, record, and set up business, or be a freelance person in a business sense, and how to set all that up as a performer. So to me, that's all bringing me tools to bring my dreams to a reality. And you've built up networks through that too. You meet other people that are musicians. The teachers that actually teach us are musicians themselves and work in the current industry. So it's really the place to be for me.
And I can attest that Jennifer has a beautiful voice, and because I've been honoured to listen to one of the songs that she wrote as part of one of her courses, and it's really lovely. So I have no doubt that there is an exciting career waiting for you in the future. And so how does it feel now that you are actually living out your life's purpose?
I feel very re-energized, and I'm a different person. I don't have those burdens that I had in the previous role, and I feel like I'm doing what I actually want to do and what actually is fulfilling. I find that when I focus on things, they tend to happen. And for instance, just recently, I was encouraged to write a song for someone, and it came easily, which I thought was extraordinary. I didn't have to labour about, what lyrics will I say and what will I do for this, that, and the other. It just, once I knew what the brief was, it came easily, and so did the music. That won't always happen, of course. It might be a bit more challenging, but I'm really enjoying that process, and I just feel energised, alive. And I find that when I feel like that, other people connect with it and pick up on it, and it just amplifies, and it just becomes bigger, and it's a joy then.
Yes, I can hear the joy in your voice, and that's wonderful. And it makes sense, because you're doing what you've been created to do. You're using your superpower, you're using your natural gifts and abilities. And so what would you say to anyone who is searching for their life's purpose, or thinking about searching for their life's purpose?
Even if you're not sure what purpose is, and I really wasn't, I think I'd suppressed it, but if you really don't know, a few things you can do, and some of it's scary, but I think take baby steps. It doesn't all have to happen at once. Things take time, and often things that take time, it's like a tree. It doesn't grow in a week. It takes time to grow and, be looked after, something to be nurtured. And so just take time. So the first step might be, you might just do a bit of writing and go, what do I enjoy? And just put words down, and it might help you just brainstorm a bit. And then from there you could go, okay, I like these things. What is it that I like about them? And then where do those likes fit into a career, or what sort of job fits those skills or joys, and go from there. And the other part of it is once you've done that, or in the process of doing that, ask other people that you trust to help you find, or be a bit of a mentor, or even just ask about what's this like, or how does this work working in this industry, or where do I start to find out what it really is like, or are there courses I can do? I think we all need help. We all need to help each other with things in life. So why should this be any different? And you'll pretty soon find out who cares and who doesn't, or who doesn't really fit, or you don't really connect with. It's part of the process, and some of it can be really risky, but chances are lots of other people feel the same, and they feel scared and vulnerable. And I think that's the best part about being human. We're all a bit scared and vulnerable at times, and it can actually help us to get closer to what we really want to do and what we need and love.
Oh, that's lovely advice. Thank you so much for that. I mean, I can talk about this stuff, but it's so much better when it actually comes from the mouth of someone who's been through it, other than me. I mean, I've been through the same process too, but yeah. So Jennifer talked about questions and, reflections and writing down things and getting ideas. Now, you don't have to do this on your own. This is all set out here in this book. And you can get this book by going to purposevisionfuture.com, and you can purchase the book there, and it will be shipped to you. And it's not expensive, because for our US viewers, it will actually be printed in the US and shipped to you, so you don't have to worry about buying a book from Australia. It's all good. So please do think about purchasing this book. There's exercises all the way through, and questions that you can reflect on. You can read more of Jennifer's story and the story of other people. And before we go, last week I was talking about how to reflect, how to do those, how to reflect, how to sort of still your mind. And I was talking about knitting, and how I knit as a blind person in the Where There's a Will, There's a Way section. And I forgot to show you some of the stuff that I actually make. And this is an example of what I make. Jen, I'm just holding up a scarf here that I've knitted. So yeah, this is an example of something I make, and I actually knit for charity. So if you want any of these scarves, shawls, beanies, all sorts of different things, please do reach out to me. You can do that through the WYTV7.org/purpose-vision-future, which is the same, obviously, the name of this show. And I sell them for the cost of the wool and shipping plus $10, and $10 from the sale of each scarf I will donate to WYTV7.org. So if you would like a scarf or a beanie or a shawl or anything else, just reach out to me, and I can show you all the pictures of the stuff that I've made and the colours that I have, and you can choose. So thank you very much again, Jennifer, for joining me. It's been lovely to talk to you again and hear your story. It always brings me joy to hear your story. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching today. I will be back for another episode of the Purpose Vision Future Show, same time, same place, next week. Until then, if you find that you are facing a challenge which seems a little bit too big, a little bit daunting, a little bit overwhelming, you've got this. I know you've got this. Just reach down deep inside and pull out that courage that I know is within you, and I promise you, you will be just fine. Thank you.